Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be an episode on Subtropical Storm, Alberto. I know last time I said Tropical Storm, sorry, apologies. A lot of people corrected me, which is fine. I appreciate getting corrected. I'm not one of those people that hates getting corrected. I'm perfectly fine. I'm an amateur, so I obviously will make lots of mistakes. So thank you for that. But before we get into this video, I'd like to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel, and in case you don't know how, just scroll down into the description box around there, and there will be a button saying, looking like this, subscribe, and you could just click on it, and you'll be subscribed. You could also, there's gonna be also another, once you subscribe, there's gonna be a bell icon here. You could click on that if you want to. And you will get notified every time I make a video. So that's up to you, but again, the whole thing is up to you if you want to subscribe. So also consider liking the video, but that's again up to you. So first off, we go to the GFS model. You can see that hasn't strengthened a ton since last video, but most of its strengthening will be right in front of the coast, but it won't have enough time to strengthen, I don't think, into a hurricane. That's most likely out of the question. Maybe a tropical storm, that is a potential for that. I am not sure. There is a potential for that, and it's just up to the National Hurricane Center whether they want to issue a tropical, or whether they want to call it a tropical storm, whether it meets the qualifications. So you can see that this right here just travels fairly slow. It's moving, I think right now, 15-14 miles per hour. So it's not a really fast moving hurricane, which will make it more impactful, because you can see, and let me zoom in on this because you probably can't see it too well. So let's go to Southeast USA. You can see that the pressure's 995, 9899, that's where we start. That's around right now. And then it drops to around 988, which is, you know, a fairly strong system. Not considered a major hurricane or even a hurricane. It's just a tropical storm, or as of now, subtropical storm. And this moves through Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and moves up further into Illinois, which we need rain here. By the way, there's a heat wave going on in the country. There is hundreds right now where I live. It's 97 in Chicago, and it's supposed to be 97 today. Right now when I'm recording it, I think it's like 89, 90. So very warm temperatures across most of the country. Memorial Day, I know for at least my area, they opened up the pools for Memorial Day weekend, the first weekend. So a lot of people will be there, but let's just get back on topic because there's a lot to talk about. So you're probably wondering how much rain. The rainfall amounts, as I mentioned, have decreased. So sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. So let's go back to the Southeast USA. That doesn't mean that just because they decreased doesn't mean that it's less impactful. You can see some pockets of up to over 6 inches of rain where the landfall will make, but a widespread 2 to 6 inches of rain across much of the southeast, I would say. And especially the GFS, like I mentioned before, isn't too good at forecasting rainfall amounts when there are thunderstorms that are going to be impacting the area. Say, like, there's a couple of counties in Georgia or Florida that could get a foot of rain, but then a couple of counties to the south, northwest, east could get only an inch of rain, and that is dependent on where the thunderstorms line up, where the severe thunderstorms are going to be. So this is definitely something we'll need to you'll need to monitor on the radar. You'll need to monitor on the radar for this, because this is just such a localized it's going to be a localized event when in terms of thunderstorms and where the heaviest will set up. However, the hurricane will be pretty impactful. Now I would like to show you some of the winds, and you can see that this is a wind gust, so don't get deceived. This is wind gusts, and wind gusts are basically like little pushes of winds that happen. Everybody knows what wind gusts are, I'm pretty sure. So the 28th, this is on Monday, 2 o'clock in the morning. It will probably be the strongest tonight, 2 o'clock in the morning. These are wind gusts. You could see up to 90 miles per hour right there, 91 miles per hour wind gusts. But I don't think that will hold on all the way to the coast. You can see it weakens, continues to weaken, but as soon as it makes landfall, there's still gusts up to 60, potentially up to 70 miles per hour. So this is still something that's fairly strong. If you're wondering what the actual wind speeds are going to be sustained, 10 meters above ground, you can see they're much weaker than the actual wind gusts. But 1 o'clock, let's go back to that, you can see sustained 50 mile per hour winds, which is still quite a bit. Any gusts that are 40 miles plus is already a big deal. But this is wind speeds that are going to be sustained at around 40 miles per hour. So this is still a fairly good tropical storm with fairly nice energy, but again, this wouldn't have the ability to get much stronger because it's just so early on in the season. The wind shear, the lower mid-latitude winds are just not compelling, not really, they're not really agreeing, they're not really working together with the storm to form a massive hurricane. This storm is basically working against all the odds. And if we play this along, you can see it has the same, it'll most likely make impact along Florida's panhandle. You can see it moves right there's a center. I don't know why the colors aren't showing, but there's a center. You can see the winds spinning counterclockwise. So that's what we'll call storm surge and all these warnings. So let's go to the actual Mobile, Pensacola area, and you can see that okay, so max sustained winds are at 40 miles per hour, 45 miles per hour right now. But I first heard that they're at 50, so I don't know. Because this, I don't think, is updated. But in pressure 997, this is as of 6 o'clock in the morning. And right now it's 11:12, so it could have changed. And coordinates are those, I'm not going to read it for you. That's basically west of Florida right now. And Florida's already getting impacted by the rain. A lot of areas are already getting rainfall. So there's a lot of rain that has already fallen, and there's about 6 potential more inches of rain to come. And let's go to the flood threat. You can see that the biggest flood threat is out of this forecasting area into Florida Panhandle. Flash flood watch is basically for the whole Florida Panhandle, Mississippi, Alabama area. And you can see storm surge watch. Coastal portion of a bunch of counties I don't want to really read, but water levels of 2 to 3 feet above normally dry ground are expected, which is I've been saying for the past couple of videos. If you're standing on a beach and there's dry ground from the beach to the hotel, there's about a foot in elevation of dry ground, then it will be flooded all the way to the beach. However, that usually not all the way to the hotel, I meant to say, but however, usually the area of elevation is something more like 16 feet. So this will be closer, you know, it will be fairly significant, especially if it's a low-lying area, but it's not going to be, and I don't think it's going to be anything close to flooding huge cities and causing major issues in terms of the storm surge. There will be major issues in terms of flooding and rainfall amounts and winds, because winds, no matter how strong they're, always could blow along some signs, some unfastened items, and that could hit a person, a truck, a car, cause an accident. There's a whole list of things that could happen. So you can see that this is basically the high temperature and rain chance. So the rain chance, I think, yeah, these are degrees, 83, 84 degrees, and anywhere you see this dark is 75 to 100% chance of rain. Let's go to the actual tropical storm warning. Let's click on a random county, and you can see this is their forecast: tropical storm conditions, and then it slows down, but you can see thunderstorms and rain still continues. However, the biggest threat is going to be tonight and tomorrow, and you can see quite a bit of rain, 1 to 2 inches, 1.25 inches. So I think this is a little bit underestimated. However, I would like to click on the tropical storm warning and see what they have to say. You can see the wind threat has remained nearly steady from the previous assessment, which was, I think, earlier in the night, and potential for wind up 58 to 73 miles per hour, which definitely is a possibility, and that is definitely strong winds. And you can see additional 3 to 6 inches. That means that already some rain has fallen and causing some issues. So this is additional 3 to 6 on already saturated grounds with locally higher amounts, like I mentioned earlier, where the thunderstorm is set up. So the flooding rain threat has remained nearly steady from the previous assessment. Nothing too major has changed since the previous assessment. That's what they're saying. But since my last video, quite a bit of things have changed. That's why I'm updating you guys on this. Tornadoes are not expected. Showers and thunderstorms with gusty winds may still occur. That is basically on with the individual thunderstorms. So the hurricane local statement is very similar. You can see it's still 220 miles off the coast. So it is, you know, storm intensity. That's what that's what I said at the beginning of the video. This is the updated one. It's at 50 miles per hour right now, moving north at 5 degrees or 15 miles per hour. So yeah, again, 2 to 4 feet of inundation, which is essentially storm surge. And I'd like to now go back to, let's go back to the subtropical storm. This is basically the map of all the storms that are going on, but they have focused in on this storm. You can see this is where it's supposed to track, and this isn't the area of impacts. This is basically where the cone could, the center of the storm could travel. So it could travel right along here, and the impacts will extend into Arkansas. It could travel right along Tennessee, and the impacts will go into North Carolina. So anywhere in this cone, the center could travel. So it could travel essentially through Chicago, Detroit, all these major cities could get impacted by some of this. So again, this is still 4 to 5 days out past this white and into this gridded color. You can see right there the forecast potential track area 4 to 5. And if you're wondering what does this SSSDDD mean, the S's mean tropical storm, wind speed between 39 and 73 miles per hour. And then the D means tropical depression. That's what usually happens to storms once they hit land. And wind speed less than 39 miles per hour. So this is, you know, not a record-breaker hurricane in terms of rainfall or even strength, but this is still something we'll need to forecast. I might make another video maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow in the morning. I'm not certain because I'm pretty sure it's the most important to release a video out as the earlier the better. So that means right before the storm hits. I think it's the most effective time to put out the video. So after that, most people won't be watching it. They'll be focusing on the actual storm. But you can see that this is a cool website. This is called, just type in National Hurricane Center, this NHC. That's all you need to type in. National Hurricane Center will pop up. Let's go to flash flooding potential. You can see it's at moderate. This is a new thing that they put in instead of the severe storm prediction center has put this in for flooding. They had for severe weather, wind, and hail. Now they put it in for flooding. You can see moderate, not high. Hurricane Harvey was high. High is essentially just disastrous flooding is going to happen, and that is the absolute max. So even moderate, still pretty high up on a scale. In terms of actual rainfall, how much is it going to fall? You could see still potentially up to 6 to 10 inches. And you may be wondering, well, my area has received 6 inches of rain before. That's not a lot. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Guys, they have already received a foot, if not 2 feet of rain in some of these areas. This is insane. 6 inches on top of this is basically just cherry on top in terms of disaster. This could definitely lead to a lot of concerns in terms of flooding. Just 6 inches on top of soaked ground is much more than you actually think it is. Now in terms of rain, you can see probability of tropical storm force winds, which is more than 39 mile per hour winds, is 90% in the dark purple, 80 in the red, 70 in the lighter red, 60 in the orange, 50 in the brown, 40 in the brownish yellow, and then 30. You can just get the point. You can see that. I'll leave this down here, and you could just look at it for a second, identify where you live. Say you live in Atlanta, Georgia, 5 to 10%, not too high, but if you live right by the coast, 90% chance, so that's where the most damage will happen. And I think, yes, this is right now, indicates subtropical storm Alberto central location at 8 a.m. Sunday, 27th, so probably it's a little bit further up north. It's probably somewhere along here right now, where my arrow is. And you can see it still has quite a bit of way to go up to the coast, but that's good because that gives you more time to prepare. So that is basically it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like the video right here. Actually, there's a picture. Like the video and share it if you want to. It's really up to you, everything here. So that is basically it, guys. I'd like to show you maybe the temperatures across the country quickly, especially since we're just on our weather video. So let's switch to United States, so continental United States, and let's switch this back to now, which is 0 hours. You could see that really warm temperatures. I mean, you can see 90s, 100s, and Texas will just keep heating up. Look, 106, 105, 109. So it will cool off across the north a little bit. You can see Ohio might get cooler air, just the Midwest, and much cooler than it has been. But that's good because some of my plants in my garden have been struggling with this heat. So this is definitely good. But again, this is so far out that this could still definitely change, and most likely will change. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel. and see you guys in the next episode.